All right, guys, welcome back. Our 2021 real estate market forecast continues. Again, this is our fourth monthly update that we've done. So we're now doing our November 21 real estate market snapshot, is what we've named these, at least for now. So we're 4 months in. Before we get started, give me 30 seconds. I want to do a commercial. So I don't have a date, but save the date if you can. So sometime in March, probably the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of March. We'll have a date here shortly, but we will be doing our 2022 real estate market forecast. Super excited. We're going to do everything we possibly can to do an in-person live event. So for those of you that have been screaming, hey, let's get back to the Fox Theater or wherever, that is the plan. So unless something dramatically changes between now and then, keep an eye out for a live event. And I don't know who that guy is, but he might be there. By the way, it's No Shave November for those of you that are wondering what's going on here. So at any rate, so we're going to jump right in, set the stage. This is month 4, so I'm going to skip the intros. Inland Southern California is what we're talking about. That's pretty much all we're talking about. So if you have any other ideas or different parts of the state, maybe I might be your guy. Probably won't be your guy for anything out of the state for sure. But anyway, Inland Southern California. So we'll see what we can do to put a bow on that. We'll talk a little bit about interest rates. Not much has changed. It'll be a fast conversation. And we'll also give you a little update on the eviction moratorium. As we have done in the prior 3 months, we're going to do a separate video on the eviction moratorium. Quite honestly, just watch the separate video and we'll go from there. So let's just jump right in. So we're going to start with our 3 counties, LA, Riverside, San Bernardino by median price. And here we go. So 2-year chart, just focus a little bit on what we've got going on here. So our trend line shows that the values have kind of softened a little bit and kind of pulled back a smidge, which is, by the way, they tend to do that this time of the year anyway. So just kind of relax for those of you that are having a little panic attack because we've had such extreme appreciation, pretty much never ending, what it feels like. Same exact chart on a 2-year. Like I said, like we did this last month, I just wanted to isolate the last 12 months as opposed to the 24 months. And again, it does kind of draw into focus a little bit that we are not seeing these rapid 20% appreciation numbers that we've been on that trend for the last couple of years. So again, this is the 3 counties. These are the numbers kind of boiled down. So 3 counties combined, $620,000 median price. That's almost a 16% increase year over year. You've probably heard me in prior meetings, or if you've been paying attention to this stuff, we've been kind of, myself included, been kind of throwing around these, oh my gosh, we've seen a 20% year over year appreciation. I'm still probably going to throw around a 20% year over year appreciation because we're kind of sort of there. Obviously, it depends on the community, the zip code, the whatever it happens to be. But anyway, for the 3 counties combined, the number is, and by the way, this is the last 12 months. So this is October to October. We're recording this on November 12th. All the data you're looking at here is no more than 2 days old. And we're going to get this into your inboxes here within the next couple of days. So you may be looking at this by the 14th of November. So at any rate, about a 16% appreciation. 12 months ago, that meant the median price in these 3 counties was $535. 2 years ago, it was $470. So a minute ago, I was saying 20% year over year. Well, that's not 20% year over year, but it's 32%. For a 2-year appreciation rate for the 3 counties. Some interesting stuff on the supply and demand side. Not big surprises because we've been talking about this. Our supply peaked in August, pulled back in September, pulled back in October. Not necessarily a surprise because it always tends to pull back at these time of the year. But our problem, of course, as we've been saying for 3-4 months now, is we never really kind of got this peak bar at a higher level. That's why everyone's complaining about inventory all the time. So, we still have an inventory problem, but the fact that inventory has decreased in the last couple months is normal. That's just what it does. So this is the 2-month chart. Again, interesting, you still got this, but these are the bars I want you to pay some attention to. So what are they? So for the 3 counties, 25,654 homes were listed for sale. Is it a little bit different? Yeah, depending upon what data you're using. CRMLS is where this came. So 25,600, let's call it. That is a decrease. I'm still not happy with these graphics. That's a down arrow in case you can see it. That is a decrease of 14.1% year over year, October to October, and a 30% decrease over the last 24 months. So these numbers tie into those charts I just shared with you. The pendings, 9,500. Now this is the crazy part, and you're going to see a theme when I go through the individual counties. It's an increase of 2.4% of pending sales, October to October, and a 17.1% increase over the 24-month window. So we have a 14 and 30% decrease in inventory, but we still sold 2.4% more homes in escrow, that is, in the month of October than we did previously, and 17% more homes than we did 2 years ago. So the numbers I want you to focus on as we go through these charts is 30% less inventory, put 17% more in escrow. Wrap your head around that. It's a little nuts, and that's been this whole frenzy of demand and price increases is basically, there's your supply and demand issues. Okay, Los Angeles by itself. Similar chart, there's your number. There's your 24-month chart, your 12-month chart. What do the numbers look like? Well, this is what they look like. Los Angeles County, 762.5, 11% increase. Pay attention to that, 11% increase. We've been doing prior charts that are 16, 17, 18, 20%. I've said 20% multiple times. We were only a few minutes into this meeting. Well, 11.3% year over year for LA County. So a little bit, and because we've started to see a little bit of that pullback. A year ago, 685, 2 years ago, 593, but that is a 28% increase over the last 24 months. So if you're buying in LA County, you're basically looking 762. The supply and demand numbers for the county, again, very dramatic decrease in inventory, what looks like a fairly flat line on pending sales. It's not flat. We'll get to what that not flat is in a minute. This is the isolated 12-month view, what looks like even a steeper decline in Los Angeles County, what looks like a flat line, which is almost flat. That's 1.4% increase, by the way. So here's the summary of the numbers. 14,000 homes for sale. By the way, the chart a minute ago had 25,000, whatever it was. 14,354 of those homes were in that other number. That's 21% fewer homes. 21% fewer homes than 12 months ago, 28% fewer homes than 24 months ago, but just like with the three counties combined, we put more properties in escrow, 1.4% more homes in escrow on 21% less inventory, 14.6% more homes in escrow on 28% less inventory for LA County. So that trend continues. We're selling more homes on less standing inventory, and what is that doing to prices? It's popping them up. We'll talk about inflation here in a little bit as well. Median price for Riverside County. There's your chart. I know they all look the same, so I'm not going to spend as much time on that, but there's your trend chart, and again, you'll see this trend where we'll see these values kind of peak. Nowhere else is the trend bar hitting the prior month's values except for in the last few months. So maybe we've got something to make out of that at a later date. A little bit more isolated, which again, the bar's a little bit gradually higher up because of that trend. So what are we looking at for Riverside County? 530 median. If you were paying attention and watched last month's video, the median was 530. So basically flat. And by the way, let me go back one. Good. It's always nice when a plan comes together. That's a flat bar, okay? So in effect, no change in median price for the Riverside County. 18% fewer homes, however, I'm on the wrong chart. 18.7% higher price. So the Riverside County in the last 12 months has certainly outperformed LA County, and they've seen almost a 19% increase in 24 months, 34% increase over 2 years. 2-year price was $395, and this is where we are today. That's where this number comes up to 34% in the county. Supply and demand for Riverside County, again, bars are looking similar. God, that just seems so dramatic though, doesn't it? That inventory, this seems almost flat. It's not. This number here, that's 16% increase on what looks like a flat bar. Let's take it down to a 2-month window. That's 12-month window. Sometimes I talk so fast, I don't even know what I'm saying. I better go back and watch this. Not so dramatic as a drop because we're coming from here to here as opposed to way up here from 2 years ago. So what are those numbers? Well, let's take a peek at them. So here we are in Riverside County. Just under 6,000 houses for sale in the month of October. What did that mean? That was a 4.1% decrease from 12 months ago and a 32% decrease from 24 months ago. The trend continues. Riverside is just kind of going along with the numbers. 2,500 properties went pending. That's 2.6% more. So here we go again. We sold 2.6% more houses in the county on 4.1% less homes for sale. We sold 16.3% more homes in the 24-month window on a 32% less houses. So again, wrap your head around that. It all kind of sort of makes sense when we see these increasing, I was going to say inflated property values, but let's just call them appreciating property values. So that's Riverside County. San Bernardino, again, very similar. There's your median price. Here's your 12-month median price chart. And what does it all look like? San Bernardino County 45. All right, that's up 14% in 12 months. 31% over 2 years ago. So 2 years ago we were 370, 12 months ago 425, and here we are on October 31st of 2021. So pretty similar numbers, but nevertheless they are what they are. I think a little bit of a change on San Bernardino on some supply and demand side though. So here's the supply and demand again. Very dramatic 12-month decrease. It's over 32%. The 12-month doesn't look so bad, but it's still a downtrend. That's a 2%. So what are the numbers for San Bernardino County? Here they are. 5,300 houses, 2% fewer, only 2% fewer homes for sale in San Bernardino County than there was 12 months ago, but 32% fewer homes for sale than there was 24 months ago. There's your numbers, but just like the other ones, we're selling more homes on less inventory. Let's just do the 2-year chart. 23% more homes sold on 32% less less homes in standing inventory. So there you go. Now, I'm in the office 3 hours ago. I'm talking to Drew. I'm like, hey, we need to do our featured city. We kind of decided to do that a couple months ago. I'm like, what do you want to do? And he just pulls Fontana out. And I said, sure, why not? Let's do Fontana. That's kind of somewhat dead center in the middle of the Inland Empire, at least in my definition of the Inland Empire. So here we are. So here's, and by the way, I'm kind of glad that he randomly pulled Fontana, because it goes to show you all real estate is local, even in what is generally a local report. You know, Inland Empire, we can make an argument, oh, LA's not part of Inland Empire. I get it. You guys know I throw LA County in there because I have 2 real estate offices in LA County. So, but Fontana, interestingly enough, their property values peaked in August, pulled back a little bit in September. Wait a minute, I guess that was July. Peaked in July, pulled back a little bit in August, little back up in September, and then they've increased again in October. So little different looking chart, and then the 12-month more isolated version, you see this little kind of peak here, then it pulls back, and then I don't want to call this a recovery because that doesn't apply here, but these values have, for lack of a better word, recovered a little bit from their high and their pullback the last couple of months. So this is Fontana. One thing to keep in mind when we do these smaller data samples is they're smaller data samples. So when you have smaller data samples, the numbers tend to make larger shifts. So just keep that in mind. Don't draw too much into that. So what does it mean? Fontana's up 17.6% in 12 months. If you're in Fontana, you're happy. 27.3% in 24 months. 24 months ago, 440. Last year, 467. This year, 560. So there you go. Actually, hold on a minute. I think, why do I feel like I made a mistake? Nope, I didn't. I was right. I'm right even when I think I'm wrong. How's that? Okay, so supply and demand for Fontana. What do we got going on here? Again, very dramatic 2-year chart, fairly solid, but then look what happened here. Fontana, I haven't been able to show you guys a chart that looks like this in the 4 months that I've been doing these recorded videos. Fontana, more inventory in the last 12 months, more homes for sale in the city of Fontana in October 2021 than there was in October 2020, 4.7%. So there you go. And the pendings were up as well. So Fontana is one of those communities, and by the way, look at this. Look at this. They haven't seen this pullback, although it was up a little bit last month and pulled back a little bit from the month before. So that's September to October. Pulled back ever so slightly, but it's still a positive trend, and it's up from a year ago. So Fontana's up 4.7. This arrow's down. This is incorrect. It's an increase, 4.7% increase in Fontana listings year over year, 28% decrease in the 24-month window, but they're still selling more homes, 7.3%, 18%. We're selling more houses, guys. I just don't know how else we can say it. We've looked at 3 counties, separated them, threw in Fontana, and they pretty much all show the same data. This is the 4th month running. Every time I get to the core logistics slide, I'm like, should I pull it out? I'm like, no, let's just remind everybody. CoreLogic basically says look for a 3.2% national appreciation rate in 2022. That seemed like a fairly dramatic prediction when they put it out because we've just been going crazy. CAR, California Association of Realtors, just did a forecast a couple weeks ago. I probably should have mentioned it here, but there's not enough time. They're in effect projecting in California about a 5% increase in property values next year. I don't think Chris Thornburg and the UCR School of Business Economics, they just did a forecast 2 days ago. I don't think they actually predicted appreciation numbers, but generally they're showing similar stuff and that, next year's should be okay. Talk about inflation at another time. So that's where CoreLogic is doing. Interest rates materially unchanged. This is what we had. Our very first snapshot was August 6th, 2.8%. We did another one the following month, 2.88%. We did one last month, 2.99%, and I just pulled this about 3 hours ago, and again, this is November 10th. This is as of November 10th, 2.98%. So if you're like, wait a minute, Lance, I thought they were above 3. I pulled this chart about 4 days ago. They were above 3. So they're kind of, they're kind of doing their thing. Follow the bond market, follow the things that you think might be interesting to inflect or to impact interest rates. But generally speaking, interest rates are at 3%. You got to be triple platinum though. I mean, you've got to have good credit and a job and some money and all the rest of that sort of stuff as well. But materially no change in interest rates. Okay, I told you about the eviction moratorium update. Watch the next slide. It'll be the link below this one. It's worth your time. So if you're interested in what's going on in the residential real estate market as far as values are concerned, this impacts that. So I would keep an eye on it. And I think I'm done. So I will see you next month. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll get you the next forecast out, or the update that is, before the Christmas holiday. Alrighty? Have a great day.